Imagine being in a place where you should feel safe, surrounded by friends and teachers, when suddenly everything changes. These real facts reveal that even in the most familiar settings, terror can creep in unexpectedly. In these lockdown stories, students and staff faced the unimaginable real threats. These accounts show that fear is a powerful emotion, capable of turning the most ordinary place into a frightening trap. What if you were trapped, not knowing what awaited outside? In an instant, the school environment became a survival field, where each decision could be crucial for everyone's safety. Get ready to hear 3 terrifying stories proving that, even in the safest place, terror might only be a step away. Are you ready to face the reality of these events? During an ordinary calculus class, the unexpected happened. A lockdown announcement echoed through the PA system. At first, I thought it was just another drill, but soon realized something was wrong. The lights were turned off, and our teacher, with a tense expression I'd never seen, asked for absolute silence. We felt fear's weight grow as silence filled the room. Have you ever been in a situation where every second of silence increases panic? As time passed, it became harder to stay calm. We were all huddled together, trying to control our breathing to avoid making noise. The darkened room and uncertainty about what was happening outside made each second more suffocating. In moments like these, the slightest sound feels like a scream. The room's absolute silence made my heart race as we heard distant footsteps. A pause here, and silence turns into palpable terror. Finally, tension peaked when a shadow passed down the hall. The door was locked, but the fear was real, the feeling of being trapped in a cage. We imagined 1,000 scenarios, each one bringing danger closer. What if you were in a place you couldn't escape? Silence and darkness were now our only allies, and all we could do was hope it would pass. What began as tense silence quickly turned into a living nightmare. During the lockdown, we heard a fierce scream from the hallway. An unknown man was outside, pounding on doors, shouting threats that echoed like whispers of terror. He tried to force open doors, the sound of his fists against the wood a chilling reminder of our helplessness. Have you ever wondered how it would feel to hear danger so close, without being able to do anything? Each second felt like an eternity as the man moved through the school, trying to enter various rooms. The tension was suffocating. It felt like time was frozen, each knock on the door a sentence of fear. We could hear the drag of his steps and his labored breathing getting closer. In moments like this, the mind races, searching for any escape, but in that instant, we were trapped. Silence after each knock turned into an abyss of terror. He continued his desperate search, and we knew we weren't safe until the lockdown ended. The feeling of being trapped, with no way out, was overwhelming. Fear spread through each of us as we tried to stay as quiet as possible. What if he managed to open the door? The suspense, the fear of the unknown, turned us into prisoners of panic, waiting for any sign of relief. The lockdown finally ended, but the school remained gripped by a sense of insecurity. We soon learned that an unknown man had entered the school, and rumors began to spread. They said he had attacked a staff member and was hiding somewhere in the building. The revelation that he might be armed brought a new level of fear to us all. Have you ever wondered what it's like to know danger lurks so close? The school's atmosphere was pure tension as each of us tried to process what had happened. Every noise in the hallway, every door opening, made our hearts race. The idea that someone had entered the place where we felt safe shook our sense of security. In moments like these, the line between safety and vulnerability is thin, and fear becomes a constant weight. The pause after each movement was an echo of the terror that lingered in the air. In time, we discovered the intruder had hidden in a storage closet, waiting for a moment of distraction to move. That news made us question our safety and heightened the terror that spread among everyone. Just knowing he was so close made the once familiar building feel like a maze of uncertainties. What if you knew danger could be hiding right next to you? While everyone was quietly eating lunch in the courtyard, unaware of what was about to happen, we were suddenly told to get inside. It was another lockdown. A known criminal was nearby, and campus security moved quickly to ensure no one was in danger. Imagine the panic as hundreds of students rushed indoors. Have you ever felt the terror of seeing danger happening around you? As the minutes passed, the school felt more like a fragile refuge. We knew the man, a criminal with a dark past, was too close. The mere mention of his history of disturbing behavior made fear grow. Just knowing he had once written threatening messages in his own blood amplified the dread. In this environment of uncertainty, every sound seemed louder, and our hearts raced with each echoing step in the halls. Imagine silence after each sound, as if danger waited to strike. The lockdown ended, but the sense of safety never fully returned. Knowing that such an unstable and dangerous man had come so close to our safe space made us question the fragility of our protection. What if this could happen again? That experience left a deep mark, a constant reminder that terror can lurk even in the most ordinary places. After the lockdown, we learned more about the man who had come so dangerously close. Stories circulated about his past, with chilling details that made our blood run cold. They said he had once written threats in his own blood, a sign of how far from reality he was. Knowing someone with such a dark history had come so close only amplified the terror. Have you ever wondered if you could be this close to danger without knowing? Each story we heard made the fear feel more real, turning him into something almost mythical, a malevolent presence that, even outside the school, still caused chills. The hallway filled with whispers and nervous glances, each student carrying an invisible shadow of fear. In situations like this, imagination mixes with reality, and terror becomes something that feels ever-present. The silence after each story was like a pause for silent panic to set in. Every new detail made us wonder what might have happened if he had managed to enter. That feeling of vulnerability never fully went away, and the school, once a safe place, now felt vulnerable. What if someone like him could find a way back in? The experience left marks, and we all carried the memory of an invisible danger that still lurks. On a gloomy morning, a school employee, Marcos, was caught off guard by an unexpected lockdown. While he was in the basement, an already oppressive place. At first, he thought it was a drill, but something felt wrong. The absolute silence, broken only by distant footsteps, made his heart race. Then, a man appeared at the door, claiming to be a father in need of help. But there was something unsettling in his gaze. Have you ever felt face to face with danger, unable to escape? Realizing the father wasn't who he claimed to be, Marcos tried to move back, but the man blocked the exit. The tension was unbearable, and each second felt like an eternity as Marcos tried to think of a way to escape. In moments like these, survival instincts kick in, but the mind struggles to find a way out where none exists. Here, the basement silence became a trap, where any sound could be his sentence. The man stepped forward, revealing a weapon, and Marcos knew he had to act fast. In a desperate moment, he found a small exit and managed to escape as the sound of a gunshot echoed through the basement. He didn't know if it was luck or something else, but the experience left an indelible mark. What if you had to face such a real threat, with no to escape? That encounter became a haunting memory he would never forget. The tension was at its peak when Marcos found himself face to face with the armed intruder. In the oppressive silence of the basement, the man raised his weapon, and the shot echoed forcefully. Marcos felt absolute terror upon hearing the shot, a split second that felt eternal. What if that shot had been his last memory? Can you imagine the feeling of being a step away from death? Driven by pure survival instinct, Marcos ran with all his strength toward the exit. Every step was a challenge, every move a struggle to escape the terror pursuing him. When he finally reached the exit, the police were there, ready to contain the danger. The sense of relief was overwhelming, but the experience had left deep marks. A silent pause followed, like the effect of panic still pulsing in the air. Even in safety, the sound of that gunshot and the image of the armed man continued to haunt him. The reality of almost losing his life in such an abrupt way becomes a shadow of constant fear. What if you lived knowing a single instant could change everything? Marcos would carry the memory of that narrow escape forever, a memory that would accompany him as an invisible scar. These stories remind us that danger can arise in the most unexpected places, turning the familiar into something frightening. And you still feel safe at your school? These real facts show that terror doesn't choose a time or place, it can lurk, waiting for just a moment of carelessness. The next time you hear a lockdown announcement, you might feel a different chill, an awareness of what can really happen. In such situations, survival instinct is your greatest ally, and being prepared is never an exaggeration. The unknown is often closer than we think, waiting for a chance to reveal itself. If you want to keep exploring real horror stories and uncover the dark side of safety, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you'll always be ready to face the mysteries that reality hides. Who knows, in the next story, you might find yourself even closer to the truth.